Hey, so I want to share with you a dream I had that had the quality of a messenger dream, but was really, that weird dream-like quality that's had me, kind of sitting with it and meditating and pondering about it. And in this morning, it left me very ungrounded, and I had to, go out into the nature and really just recalibrate myself because it truly threw me for a loop. So in this dream, I wake up in the dream and I'm looking around, and my husband is dumping bags of Goodwill, stuff that we had given away, books, clothes, purses, shoes, stuff like that we had, we've been decluttering pretty much as a mission for a while now. It's just like, we don't use it, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. And he's dumping all of this on the bed, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he goes, I want to make sure that you're really ready to get rid of all this stuff. And I'm like looking, and I'm like going, you just piled all this on me, and I'm overwhelmed, and I'm upset, and I'm freaking out. And I'm like, I have my things to do today, not to go through what I've already gone through. And so I'm upset at him, and I go into the bathroom, and up in the bathroom are shelves. I don't have shelves in my bathroom. And more junk is up there. And I can feel the old energy hanging on the shelves. It was like I could feel it. I could see it. I'm like, ugh. And I'm looking at that, and I'm a little overwhelmed by that. And I'm like, oh my God, there's so much here of this energy that's old and it's stagnant, and it's got to get out of here. And then I looked to where my shower is, and there was no shower. There was shelves with more crap. And I'm like, oh my God, Danny. I'm like, where is the shower? And he's looking at me like, the shower's right there. And I'm like, no, there's shelves hanging up. Where is the shower? And he is just looking at me like I've got 40,000 heads, right? And this was already after I started crying because he's dumping bags on the bed, and he didn't understand why that upset me. And so he's going, okay. And so I go upstairs, and sitting on my couch is this woman. And she is just contently with a cup of tea, reading her book, wrapped up in a blanket on my couch. And I look at her, and I'm like, okay, so is this an earthbound spirit? And I start trying to talk to her like I would an earthbound spirit. Just trying to figure out, like, what are you doing here? What do you need? How can I assist you to cross you over? But the weird thing was, she was talking to me the same way, as if I was the earthbound spirit. And I am freaking out, and I am telling Danny, I'm like, do you see this woman? Can you see her? She's sitting here on the couch. And he's like, Jen, I can't see her. And then I hear him on the phone, and he's talking to his business partner, and he's like, Mark, I'm not going to make it onto the job site today. He's like, I need to do some things with Jen. And I'm in my head going, oh my God, am I hallucinating? Am I schizophrenic? What is this? And I am hysterical, right? Just like, I see things, I feel things nobody else can see, hear, or feel. And so what actually does wake me up is him kissing me goodbye. And I'm like discombobulated, completely discombobulated. And I tell him goodbye, and he's like, I'm in a hurry. It was such a quick goodbye. He's like, I'm running late. And so he leaves. And a couple minutes later, I hear noises by the washing machine, and I'm like, oh crap, am I still asleep? Is there, something? And then it dawns on me it's Monday, and my daughter goes in late to school. So I'm like calling her name, like, Maddie? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, thank God. But it was funny. My body went into fight or flight. Like, what if, I am seeing and experiencing things at such a intense rate. Now, as I sat with this, I get her off to school, and I go out on trail, and I'm like, what does this mean? Okay, maybe it's time to continue decluttering. Maybe it's time to not even, to really let go of anything from the past. Let it go. Okay, I can get that. Then I went back to 2012, 2013 time when I was definitely seeing and hearing and experiencing things that people don't, right? I mean, that is my everyday. So you would think, okay, wait a minute. I talk to guides, I talk to angels, I see into the realms, I see dragons, I see all this stuff, but it is very much like I switch something on and off. I do not walk around constantly seeing spirits, constantly digging into what people have within them. I don't do that. When I first started opened up, I was actually afraid I was going crazy. And I was afraid, what if, the car accident, the meds, everything that I had been through had created some brain dysfunction, some schizophrenia, some stuff like that. So it was an absolute fear of mine. But, time and time again, it was like Spirit showed me the truth. And it was like, I constantly was testing Spirit. Like, are you real? The information that I'm getting, is it real? Is what I'm seeing when I'm working on someone, is that real? And I constantly tested it until I learned and I trusted it and I started understanding more. So sitting with that, I'm like, okay, maybe there's this piece of me that still has this residual fear that I'm absolutely crazy. But the more I sat with it this afternoon, what I realized was that the veil is thinning. The matrix is dissolving. The realms are becoming more active. More and more people are seeing the dragons in the clouds. They're seeing elementals. They're seeing through the realms. And a lot of that is because the barriers in between them are dissolving. And it's interesting because I believe it correlates to the barriers in our DNA. So the barriers within our DNA are dissolving, and what's happening is like all what they call the junk DNA is coalescing. As it does, the worlds are blending. And I think that what we're going to find is things like maybe the shower's missing. Maybe there's someone sitting on your couch. And we could absolutely feel crazy. We could absolutely feel crazy. And so that's why I'm sharing this with you, because as we go forward, we have so much going on in the outer world, horrible stuff going on in the Middle East. We have so many dramas. There's earthquakes. There's all sorts of stuff that can pull us and lock us into that very physical, tangible world where Spirit is asking, are you ready to get rid of that stuff? Are you ready to get rid of what you have deemed to be reality, what you have deemed to be the material holding you, locking you into a particular way of being? Are you ready? Because if you're ready, we may be really starting to see where the veils are thinning. And we may find that there are people walking around that are going to see all sorts of stuff. And the natural inclination is going to be they're whacked out of their head. They've lost their mind. They've gone crazy. And you may even question yourself. And so I share this video because if we come across someone who's like that, maybe we just need to sit there and listen and go, there are realms. Maybe you're seeing through them. What can you do to anchor yourself? If it's us, I wound up going out onto the trail. I came home. I cleaned the house. I couldn't get anything non-concrete done because I needed to ground so badly, because the dream really rattled me and the understanding of the changes that are coming. And I tend to be one of those that gets the forewarnings. And so I share this with you so that you understand what may be coming in the next phases. That we may be seeing more and more into the realms. Our loved ones may be seeing more and more into the realms. And they may want to cling to the security and the safety of the matrix, of the illusion, because it's comfortable. because it's not comfortable all of a sudden not seeing your shadow. Your shower. It's not comfortable all of a sudden seeing somebody sitting on your couch as solid as you would anyone. None of that is comfortable, but that is where we are headed. And so how we process this is going to be different for everybody. But I do want to share this so that you understand that you're not going to be alone. There's going to be a lot of us. And we will rely on each other to make sure that we're not feeling completely crazy. And I think it's important to have someone in your life now that you can say, hey, when I am really confused and I am seeing multiple realities at one time, can I talk to you? Can I trust you? Can you be my anchor? Because I think we're going to need that. I mean, I know I did. I know, I wound up actually calling my husband this morning and he's like, "Ooh, you need to recalibrate." I'm like, "I know, I'm a mess. This really whacked me out." And he's like, "You're okay. You're okay." And it was exactly what I needed. He wasn't going, are you experiencing a mental health crisis? Are you mentally ill? He's going, "You're okay. You're here. You're right where you need to be." And so I recommend find a friend that you can trust with the things that you're seeing, the things that you're hearing, so that you don't necessarily have to go the route of, because I know that in my dream, I was like, oh my God, am I hallucinating? Am I schizophrenic? Is he going to take me to the ER? Are they going to drug me up? Because if they are, I'm never getting out of that place. It's like they would take one look at me and be like, oh, well, this one's really, a little batshit crazy. And that is something that we may see. Like we will see the people because they didn't have someone to anchor them. They didn't have someone to ground them. So I tend to receive understandings ahead of time than what is needed. And sometimes it can be months, sometimes it can even be a year. And, I cannot tell you what this is going to look like as the matrix dissolves, as the realms blend. I don't know what it's going to look like. But I know that we need to be prepared for it. And we need our anchors. We need our good, solid tribe that we can rely on. So have a great day. And this eclipse energy is a doozy. It's a doozy. And I think that's also really thinning the veil so that we're seeing things maybe at a deeper level than what we were before. Take care.